Welcome to Wednesday's Word. I want to take you to a different location. You can hear the cars. We're on the bridge here in Sheridan. And I walk past here pretty often, and I've often thought of the two paths that are visible here. I want to show you the first one. It's right over here. It's a wooden path. It's up against a building. It's just suspended. And notice if you were to walk on that, if you lost your balance, if you strayed just a little bit, you would have quite a fall to the rocks and the grass below. In many respects, it's a dangerous path. And we're going to take a look at another one. I want you to look at the second pathway. Let's get the pathway as well. This pathway has guardrails on both sides. One protects you from the oncoming traffic. The other one protects you from a major fall. I want you to look down below. If you fell off this bridge, you could die or be seriously hurt because the water is shallow and the fall is long. Now let me share with you the scripture that I want to share for today. It is from Exodus chapter 20. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. It's the beginning of the Ten Commandments, and we think about all the commandments that are there, but sometimes we skip right over this first one. We think about you shall not kill, you shall not commit adultery, you shall honor your father and mother, you shall not steal. All of those commandments are there for a reason. But it's very, very interesting because the fourth use of the law, I talked about 3 in the Sunday message. The fourth one is the law shows us how our heart really works. And that's an important insight because even Martin Luther noticed something very profound. He says something about the first commandment. It is the commandment on which all of the other commandments are based. It means that if there is a problem underneath every problem. There is a sin underneath every sin. If you're having any problem in your behavior or any problem that is with destructive feelings, it's because of this. It's because we've broken the first commandment. That something in our life has become more important to us than God. And so we get out of balance. You think about how dangerous it would be to walk off that first path. You think about how dangerous it would be to walk off this one. So God gives us guardrails. He wants to protect us. It's the same thing with His law. It's for protection because our hearts tend to stray and to take little things and make them major things, the most important things, and forget that one spot is reserved for God. When God is the most important, everything else falls in place. So Tim Keller gives a couple examples. The first example is this, to see how this works. He says you might have a problem with time management. And you might say, well, my real problem is, the underlying problem is I'm just disorganized. But it could go deeper than that. It could be that really inside what you really want to do is you want to please people, so you don't have this ability to say no. And it becomes so much of an issue for you that it manifests itself in how you use time. But really something becomes more important, pleasing people than pleasing God. Another one, he said, might be if it's about being stingy. It's not necessarily just because money's important to you, but maybe it is so important that it has become your source of security, more so than God, so that we don't want to part with it because it's not just money, it's our security. When we know that our real security is found in God. So I want you to think about those things. How it shows how our heart works. When we think about God being first and God being most important, then it helps us sort out the little problems and put them in perspective and remember that God so loved us that He sent His Son to overcome our sin. And that times when we get out of balance and our heart is broken and it's turned in on itself, God not only forgives us, but he restores us and he reminds us that for Jesus' sake, we have new hearts and we are clean because what of Jesus has done. So let us pray. Dear Jesus, we thank you. We thank you for your law that shows us how our heart works, but also for your gospel that reminds us that you have a heart for us, that you kept the law perfectly for us, and that you cleanse our heart with your forgiveness and with your grace. So help us this week again to be reminded that your law is still important, that it has a proper use. It doesn't save us, but it does help guide us and show us what truth is. Thank you for these guards on the paths of life so that we can see where you would have us walk. In Jesus' name.